Hey guys, welcome to the Killing the Tea podcast. This is Gare,
And Kate.
and we are going to be discussing all things chills, thrills, and kills. Kate and I are going to be talking about our favorite books, TV shows, and movies that are in the thriller or crime fiction genre, as well as some reading habits and other items related to how we met on Bookstagram that will fit in with this podcast. So, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you have fun and get totally terrified. Hello.
Hey, how was your day?
My day was pretty good. How was yours?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was busy, but I've been excited for this all day.
Same. Me too. Yeah, it's a great day to start a podcast, don't you think?
It is a great day to start a podcast. It's like
um,
also a really great day to read a book.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been super rainy here.
Yeah,
So I'm excited for the fall weather to start.
me too. We agree on that one.
Yeah,
Summer's
yeah.
too hot.
Well, that's kind of how we started this whole thing because we
Yeah,
started to agree on a lot of things
on
and
everything.
noticed all of the similar interests that we had and everything
Yeah,
that we agree on. So,
yes.
yeah, so this is the first episode of the Killing the Tea podcast,
Yeah.
which is all things chilling, thrilling, and killing. So, we
Yeah.
will be talking about all of our favorite murdery books and movies and TV shows and everything that, kind of helps us celebrate spooky season all year round.
Because it just should be. It just should be all year round.
Yeah, 100%. Like, there's,
Weirdos who disagree, like I just don't get it.
yeah, the summer celebrators who just
Yeah.
want to, kind of enjoy the hot weather and things that are
Yeah.
harmonious.
Apparently some people do that.
I mean, I really feel like I don't know about books yet, but I really feel like that there is a scary movie for every season. Like
That's
I
a
know what
good
you did
point.
last summer takes place on like July 4th, and then,
Yeah.
Scream movies, they typically like I think are spring-ish, and then,
Yeah, I think
you
so.
know, obviously there's the good old Halloween and the
Hmm.
Christmassy ones, but
Yeah.
uh, I think
Were
that you
you
can
born in the fall? Is your birthday in the fall?
no, I was
Okay.
born in May. I'm a spring.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I
Which
was born in October. So some people are like, well, of course fall's your favorite. And I'm like, okay.
No, I've always loved fall.
Yeah.
I actually like it a lot more as an adult just because I don't have that dread of having to go back to school.
That's a really good point.
So now
Sometimes I still see kids get on the bus and I'm like, I am so glad I don't have to do that anymore.
it was the worst. Like I loved back to school shopping, but then like actually
Hmm.
going back to school and all of that nonsense, I
Yes.
just was not into it.
No, shopping is much better than learning.
Oh, absolutely. Especially like
Yeah.
book fairs. I look forward to
Yes. Yes.
those.
Those were amazing. I actually got books,
I did too. I did
not
too.
just dinosaur toys or something
Yeah,
random.
not to shade my friends, but I was not
No.
buying posters or like erasers that were in the shape of like Hot Wheels cars and
And
Barbies.
they like snapped in half so easily. They were like the worst erasers.
Yeah, everything
Like
was
no give.
the books were good quality and they
Yeah, they
held
were.
up. Everything else
Yes.
did not. Everything else like lasted like
Yes.
3 days.
Did you
Yep.
read did you read a lot as a kid? Now I'm thinking that might need to be one of our episodes, like what we read when we were younger.
Yeah, I think that that is kind of what got me into crime fiction is because I mean, obviously my parents read, books to me when I was younger, but it was like
Hmm.
chicken soup and rice and things like that, like those like
Yes.
kid tales. But like
Yes.
when I started to read on my own, I wanted those mysteries and thrillers like Goosebumps, anything by R.L. Stein,
Yeah.
the Fear Street books, like everything like that. I just absolutely loved. And then
Yeah.
they started turning it into like a TV show. So
Yeah.
that was a double win for me.
That was a big win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read as much mysteries as I could like get close to. Yeah, my parents were restrictive, so I guess I didn't read as much as a kid as like the type of reading that I do now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So like I would like find the like acceptable versions, but like
Mhm.
I would not have been allowed to watch Goosebumps as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And then I found it like in college. In college, I found Gillian Flynn and I was like, "Oh my gosh," cuz that was like right when she was blowing up in terms of Gone Girl. And I was like, "This is amazing. I need more of this."
I always went back and forth with reading in like high school and college. And
Mhm.
I'd get really into it and,
Yeah.
say to myself, I'm going to read more. I'm going to like
Yeah.
focus on this because I enjoy it so much and I always have. I never felt like it was a
Yeah.
burden or something I had to do.
Yeah.
But I think Gillian Flynn is when it really struck me too.
That's
I
cool.
I remember like everybody was talking about Gone Girl,
Mhm.
but I was used to book series and I was used to
Oh
authors
yeah.
who did like the Easter eggs where their books would be connected. So everybody was
Yeah.
talking about Gone Girl. I went and read her first two books before
Mhm.
that just to make sure that there were no surprises. And then
Yeah.
that's what really got me into it. I was like, I
Yes.
need everything by this person. I need
Yes.
everything that's similar to this. That was what got me hooked on reading again, and I just
Yeah.
haven't stopped since.
Yeah. I think we talked about whenever we started talking on Instagram because the next one for me was Peter Swanson. So it sounded and you said like that happened for you too, I think. Was that
Mhm.
yeah, with the Kind Worth Killing. And that was like the next one I found like after I started like looking for more books like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing too.
Yeah, I read his first book.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called The
Is that
Girl
the
with
girl? Yeah.
yeah, The Girl with the
With the
Clock for a
clock
Heart.
for the heart?
Yes. I read that one and I mean I enjoyed it. I liked his
Yeah.
way of writing and I liked his books taking place in Massachusetts and
Yeah.
having the like that kind of vibe to them. Um
Mm-hmm.
his first one like it wasn't really my genre back then, but then when I read
Yeah.
Kind Worth Killing, I was like this is it for me. Like I'm
Yes.
going to devour this.
Yeah.
And
I
I've read that
remember
one a few
just
times.
being, I know, I need to reread it. I only read it once and it's been years now, but it's like, I would recommend it to people for like years after where they'd be like, how do you like get so into a book? I was like, read a book like this. This is how you get that into a book.
It's so funny. And I feel like there's always ones that I'm really anticipating that always hit the nail on the head for me. But
Hmm.
there's
Yeah,
always a
those are the
really big,
twos that I remember just because they like got me into it. And then I'm sure there have been plenty more.
yeah. And there's always one I feel like every year that really surprises me. Something that
Yeah.
maybe wasn't on my radar. Usually it's a debut author, so it's not something that was
Yeah.
completely on my radar, but I either
Yeah.
hear about it on Bookstagram or I,
Hmm.
see something on Amazon and I pick it up and then it just absolutely kills me. And I
Yeah. I love when that happens because then you're like, oh, I have another person to be excited for new books.
Yeah, and I love when it happens on Bookstagram too, because you have
Hmm.
somebody that's already so passionate about reading
Yeah.
that you can talk to about, whatever book you're reading that you absolutely
Yeah.
love, or, kind of like just chat with them about other things that are like that. It's like really
Hmm.
exciting to find something you love and then find somebody that not only loves it as well, but might have recommendations for you that you don't know.
Yes. That's the
Which is how you and
best.
I met.
That's what I was just like, this is the perfect segue. You beat
Yeah,
me
this is
to
a perfect
it.
segue to talk about Bookstagram and how we met.
Yeah. Would and also kind of I feel because it was Ashley's thing was the first thing you saw, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
It was
So
Ashley
even
and Jamie Lynn Hendricks.
yeah, and then she was after Ashley. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. It was
Yeah.
like both of the funny thing was both of them mentioned you to me in the episodes. And then like you started messaging me and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, they told me about it and they were like, oh,
Okay.
you'll have to check out this podcast. So then I started following you.
Nice.
And, when you posted about it, I got to finally listen to the podcast episode and I was like, thank
Yeah.
you, them. But I was also like, wow, like I love all the things that you say in your podcast. And I
Yeah.
was like, this is somebody that I think I could really have a good friendship with just
Yeah.
because not only your taste in books, but
Uh-huh.
the way that you talk about books. It's not just like,
Yeah.
oh, I liked this, like I'm moving on. Like you are just
Mhm.
like, you want something that's going to set the tone for like whatever mood you're in. And that's exactly
Yeah.
how I am as a reader.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so cool. I didn't know that they actually told you about it. So that's like I'm learning things this tonight.
Yeah, yeah. I know Jamie Lynn Hendricks definitely told me about it because she was like, oh my
Mhm.
God, I just recorded this podcast. I was talking to you about it. And even back then, I was like, I want to do a podcast so bad.
That's
Like,
awesome. That's amazing.
I was like, I want to do a podcast. Like, I love like listening to them, but
Yeah. Yeah.
want to do a book podcast because I feel like, and I mean, it's an enjoyable experience. Like,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. And I'm sure you feel this way about your other podcasts sometimes.
Mhm.
But sometimes when I do lives with authors, it's really
Mhm.
hard to keep the conversation going about a book
Yeah.
when you're trying to like A, avoid spoilers.
Right.
B, you're only talking about, one title. And I
Mhm.
don't want to like ever, sway the conversation and take it away from the conversation that we're having about whatever book they're promoting.
Yes. Yeah.
So I've always wanted to do a podcast just in the sense of like, let's talk about what we love about reading. Let's talk what books
Yeah.
we love. And
Mhm.
then you and I talked about some TV shows and movies that we love
Yep.
too, and how we had
Yes.
similar tastes in that. So I was like,
Yes.
okay, this kind of makes
Yeah.
sense for us to start a podcast
It does. Yeah, because
because
you
our
go ahead.
DMs are on fire. Like there's
I
smoke
know.
coming off from them. Like we have to do that thing. I mean, I'm not very tech savvy like you are.
Uh-huh.
We have to do that thing where you click on the message to reply to a certain one because the
I know
conversation is
because they
going
do
so
get so long.
quickly and
Yes,
like the conversation is like changing every 2 seconds. So
I know.
I was like, okay, let's get the ball rolling on this because this would be
Yeah.
so much fun for us to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I thought so too. You recommended Watcher to well, not you posted about it.
Mhm.
And then my husband and I watched it, and that was like I still think about how fantastic that movie was, especially the ending. And so then we were talking about that, and I couldn't stop talking about it. I was like, man, like we the quintessential thing that everyone says when they have really good conversation. They're like, I need to start a podcast with you. But
I know. Well, I mean, we've been kind of plotting this for a while.
yeah, yeah,
I feel like since then, I have seen so many other people that are like starting podcasts and stuff like that. It's
yeah,
like our podcast, the new Instagram.
yeah, yeah. They
Everyone's going to
kind of
have one.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially since you can promote them on Instagram too.
But I just love that about like any conversation I've had with you in
Mm-hmm.
regards to movies and TV shows and
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. Because the minute I watched the movie Watcher,
Yeah.
which everybody needs to watch because it's amazing, but
So good.
the minute I watched it, I just could not wait to recommend it to you because I was like, this is going
Yeah.
to be one of those things where like you're going to love it.
Yes. Like that, I can't believe it's not getting marketed more because more people need to see it. I hadn't seen anything about it until you posted about it. And I like normally see like movie trailers or whatever that
Mhm.
are like within the genre I'm always watching, but I didn't even see anything about it until you posted about it. And I was
I
like,
feel,
this
yeah,
looks good.
I feel like I've like curated all of my social media apps in such a like psychotic way that like I get like movie recommendations on like Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and
Nice.
everything
That's
like
smart.
that. So, but I haven't even done it on purpose. It's just by like
Uh-huh.
liking things or like
Yep.
saving certain things. But
Yeah.
I also love Micah Monroe, the lead
Mm-hmm.
actress in that movie. And I feel like
Yes.
maybe she posted something about it because
I think that's what you shared.
she was in It Follows, which
Oh
I
yeah.
loved. Love,
Mm-hmm.
love. So, but this is a little bit more like I don't want to say mainstream because I think it is very like
Yeah. I know, but
it's a
it's
specific
like,
taste,
yeah, yeah.
but
It's a little bit more it does like
slow burn.
reference. Yeah, it's definitely a slow burn. That's
Yeah,
what I was kind of nervous because my husband Tyler does not like slow burns normally. Like that's just like too much sitting and having nothing happening for him.
right.
And as we were watching that, he was like, every time that he likes a thriller or a drama that's like that, he's always like, you're just constantly asking questions. He's like, you like, it's like a whole, like, you never know what the truth is. It just like throws you right in there. I was like, that is the beauty of this genre, is you never know what's happening.
You never know
Like,
what's
you're
going to
always
happen.
trying to figure it out, which, oh my gosh, I can't wait until you see Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Same thing for that movie. Same thing. You do not
I
know what's
cannot
happening the
wait for
whole
that.
time.
I
It
cannot wait.
was amazing. People need to go see that too.
I've really been looking forward to that for a long time.
I bet that is right up your alley.
It is. It is. And there was one, it's called They Them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I saw that, but or I saw it as like when I was scrolling through options.
yeah, it's like a slasher for the LGBT community. It's like somebody killing
Yeah.
people in a conversion camp.
Yes.
And it
I
has Kevin
knew it.
Bacon in it. I thought it was really enjoyable I mean,
Okay.
when you watch the trailer, you know that it's going to be almost probably how people felt in the 80s when a new Friday the 13th movie came out. Like,
Right.
this isn't going to be super deep, but it's
Right.
going to be enjoyable. It's going to kill
Yeah.
a Friday night, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought it was really enjoyable, but
I need to add that
I'm
to my list then
super pumped
too.
for Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Was there's so many good things about
Bodies
it.
times three.
Creatively, the score, it like has some satire in it. It's so good. It's so good. It truly is a comedy horror thriller. Like, it is all of those genres in one, which was really impressive to me.
I'm looking for, I actually just read a book like that.
Hmm.
That
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Which one was
how
that?
How to Survive Your Murder by
That's
Danielle
what it was.
Valentine.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. It had so many horror movie references in it. It was fun. It had like a teen cast. It was like slasher movie in a book form. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the villain was amazing. I mean, it takes place in like a huge cornfield on like Halloween, and it's just
Nice.
crazy. But it was so, so good. I absolutely love that one.
I need it. I have not been like, last week was the first week that I did not finish an entire book in months. And I feel so behind because I was reading like 2 books a week, and like even the Daisy Darker that came out, I am
Mhm.
such an Alice Feeney fan. But like, I have so many other ones above that one on my TBR as well. I'm like, how am I going to catch up to all of these? I don't know how. I got to hire an assistant to do my work
I
for me.
I'm game. I'll help you.
Yeah.
Like whatever I can do to help you get through your TBR because I'm sure
Yes.
it's
How
insane.
interested are you in editing?
Yeah, I can do it. I could do
Yeah,
it. I
I
can
think you
help you.
could.
I feel like if you
Hmm.
trained me on anything, I could do it because I feel like you are very patient with me and all my like issues with technology that I
Or you're just
have.
really good at learning stuff.
Maybe. Maybe I'm good at
Could be
catching
that.
on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes I am like I'll notice like trends and things, but then
Hmm.
when like people do certain things, even on like Instagram, I'm like, how did you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get it.
I just do it for work. So that's the main reason I know it all.
I think you will like Daisy Darker though.
I'm so excited for that. I love Alice Feeney's books.
I
His
take
and
like a couple of,
hers.
she's so good. She's
Yeah.
so good. I
And
haven't
This
been
Is How I
disappointed.
Lied. I loved that one. That was her, right?
Yes.
Yes. There's so many with lie in the title, which like feels like it could be a skit
Lie,
about all of the books that have
wife,
lie in it. Yeah.
wife. Yep.
Yeah.
All the lies. There's so many. I think you
Girl.
love it. Girl, oh my God. I don't know if you've noticed this in a trend in thrillers, and I have,
Uh-huh.
but they used to have when a girl went missing in a book, it was the popular blonde bitchy girl.
Always.
And now I feel like I'm noticing a trend of the blonde popular bitchy girl being replaced with the wild redhead.
Yeah.
Every
I've
book I've
noticed
read
that.
recently that has a missing teenager or a missing girl or something, or any like sassy, fiery character, she's
Yes.
redhead.
Yeah. Did you read Blood Sugar this
Y-
year?
Yes, I did. I
She's
really,
redheaded too. I
yeah,
loved that one.
I
Loved that one so much.
loved that one. There
Yeah.
was one
Like,
I
so
read.
unique.
I'm trying to think of what it was. It's called Where the Truth Lies by Anna Bailey. She was a
Okay.
redhead, but that's a really good one too. It kind of reminds me of like a thriller mystery, but it takes place in a small town. And so like the vibe of the town kind of reminded me of One Tree Hill. Like these kids go out into like the
Yes.
fields to party, and like you can just picture like all the Letterman jackets and
Mm-hmm.
the kids that are like from like the bad side of town, and then like the rich popular ones.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it definitely gave me, it was a lot more emotional than I thought it would be, but
Mm-hmm.
it definitely gave me One Tree Hill vibes, which I'm always into.
That's, oh my
If you
gosh.
can,
I loved that show.
my
My
friend is
friends had
rewatching
it
it.
on DVD and like smuggled it to me. They're like, you
Oh
have
yeah.
to watch this. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
back when
Yeah.
we had like portable DVD players.
That's so funny. That is so
Yeah.
funny. Still think I have in this desk that we're recording at. I think that I have my portable DVD player
Oh
in here.
my gosh. I don't
I
have
think
mine
I
anymore.
do. I do. I don't even know where my DVDs are, to be honest with you, but I still
Yeah.
have the player in case something happens. In case like Netflix starts mailing you DVDs again.
Right. Oh
You
my
never
gosh.
know.
That was,
No.
I remember getting them mailed to my dorm in college and being like, this is so cool.
I remember hating it, and the only reason I hated it is because I
Uh-huh.
actually worked at a video store.
Yeah.
So it was like people were like, I'll just get it on Netflix. And I was like, Netflix is gonna be the devil to us. And then I ended up getting another job, but
Right.
it wasn't long after that I think like a lot of video stores started to
It,
close.
yeah.
That was like
Things
the
did.
most fun job I've ever had.
Oh, really?
Hands down. Hands down. All
Like
you had
the
to
staff,
do,
was the staff fun or
some
no?
of
Being by yourself was fun.
some of them were fun, some of them weren't. Um, but no, it was just like it was just easy. It was really
Mm-hmm.
easy work, but it was fun. So they
Yeah.
would send you, I think like Thursday or Friday, they would send the stores like what the new movies coming out were. And
Okay.
then we could rent them for, well, I mean, we could rent them for free and bring them home,
Right.
because what they wanted to do was they wanted us to watch like the new movies that were coming out
Uh-huh.
before they were released on the shelves so that we could recommend whatever people needed.
Nice.
So it was like one of those, but it was also like one of those jobs that I was like, okay, I'm literally like working here and they're asking me to stay home on the weekends and watch a bunch of movies.
Okay, that's definitely fun.
So I'm like, that's a dream.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
that was really fun. That was like the most fun I've ever had at like any job. Because all
I
people do is they
yeah.
return to their movies and you scan it and then you put it back on the shelf. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't insanely crazy.
right.
Like we
That
got
makes
busy
me want to be
on,
a librarian now. I
I
mean,
feel
I
like
don't.
librarian would be stressful because I think that people do weird things in libraries.
That's a good point. I haven't
And
been in a
that's just from the
library in a
romance
very
books
long
that I've
time.
read.
Oh my gosh. So you don't mean weird, weird things.
I mean, weird, weird. Yeah.
That's funny. So maybe you're right. I don't want to deal with that. But if I could find a job where I could just read all the time, be great.
That would be fun. I would love to.
Hopefully, this becomes our job that lets us read all the time.
That would be amazing. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. To just get paid to read and talk about it, that
Yeah.
would be fun. I would love to get paid to talk about books.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do that, but I feel like my only concern is if there was some job that I was paid to read,
That's a good
I
point.
wonder if it would take the joy out of reading for me.
That's a really good point.
Because like books are such a good escapism for me
You're
when I'm
right.
having a rough day at work, or if I'm doing something that I don't want to do, I can be like, at least when I'm finished with this, I can
Mm-hmm.
relax at like
Yep.
8 o'clock tonight with my book or whatever
Yes.
the case may
Yes.
be, or but
Be
I
like
just
right when I get off this call.
right. No, I did start a new one today, so it's
Yeah.
really good. It's really good.
Nice.
I'm enjoying it. I'm on a like streak where I'm reading a lot of good things.
Uh-huh.
Right now I'm reading Real Bad Things by Kelly J. Ford.
Yeah.
It
I
is
feel like
so
I have
good.
that.
It is so good. I'm about
Yes, I
halfway
do have that.
through. I started on my
Nice.
lunch break today.
That's
Uh,
amazing. Do you
And it
speed read? How do you read 16 books a month? Were you the one who did 16, 15?
probably, you
Okay.
know what? I don't even know if I speed read. I probably do and I just don't realize it.
Okay.
I do read on my lunch breaks. So
Yeah.
I get an hour lunch break once a day, as most people do.
Only get lunch once a day.
Only get one lunch break a day. God, I'm calling HR. Um, but I get an hour a day to read, and I read on my
Yeah.
lunch break. I read after work. Um,
Yeah.
and then the weekends, like I try to read a book on Saturday and I try to read a book on Sunday because my
That makes
weekends are like
sense.
my time. Yeah.
Yeah. I do need to get better about just blocking the whole day off.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do like fun things, like I
Hmm.
think the thing is that I'm really, really OCD with time management.
Yeah.
So if I pick up a book, like I can plan out when I can finish it,
Yeah.
where
That's a
I
good point.
know I can read 50 pages in this day or I can read 100 in this day, whatever.
Right.
Um, I do dinner with my friends every Thursday night. So like I kind of know when like my social evening is going to be.
This is
Um
another thing we have in common.
yeah. surrounded
Because
by
social means a
surrounded
little bit tired.
surrounded by people that know that they're going to see me once or twice a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's hard too. I mean, I do have two jobs.
Yeah.
Um I do have that one night a week where I do have dinner with my friends. And then there's just like
Hmm.
weird adult things that you have to do, like grocery shop and do your laundry and just clean and
Dishes.
dishes, whatever the case may be. Like
Hmm.
it just takes up a lot of, I feel like Sundays I do all of my laundry.
Yeah.
I like to grocery shop on like, depending on where I'm going, either like a Wednesday night or
Hmm.
Saturday, like afternoon. Like I like to get up on Saturdays and have my coffee and then take off and run whatever errands I have to run or go shopping
Hmm.
or whatever the case may be. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do try to do a book a weekend and then like 1 to 2.
Yeah.
um,
That's what I've noticed is like in general, that's what happens. Where like sometimes I will read a book Saturday and Sunday or all in Saturday. And then it just depends since we are like kind essentially freelance in that we don't just like work with one client. So sometimes stuff just all comes in one week and then I'm like, I didn't even read on the weekend. So it's just like weird adjusting to it. But I was getting like two a weekend where like it would seem like Monday through Friday I would read a book and then Saturday and Sunday I'd read a book. So like one book would always take longer during the week and then the other one would be shorter. And then I got off my streak last week. But I'll get it back.
Send me your calendar and I'll
Yeah.
hook you up with your like reading
That's
schedule
a
for
good
when you're free.
point. Yeah. Can I get little stars like
Yeah,
we did in like kindergarten?
I'll just break it up. That's what I do. I mean, well, yeah, I think it's hard too with your work schedule. For me,
Mhm.
I have a day job working
Right.
as a recruiting coordinator. I work
Hmm.
Monday through Friday from home, 8 in the morning to 4:30 in the
Nice.
afternoon. My second job is freelance, like
Hmm.
writing for She Reads. So
Yeah.
that depends on what they want for me.
Yeah.
So sometimes I can do that when I get done work. I'll work for them for like an hour and be like, okay, that's enough because they
Yeah.
are really good at giving me my assignments ahead of time. So it's not so last minute.
That's good.
Um, and then I just like read in between. But
Yeah.
the thing that really helps me is I know that I'm going to read one book on a Saturday and one book on a Sunday. So
And you
whatever
just do
those two books are, I try to make it something that I'm really looking forward to because then I'll
Yeah.
want to read it. And if
Yep.
there's something I'm kind of iffy on, or if there's something that I haven't heard a lot about, or I don't know if it's a genre or a plot that's going to
Hmm.
work for me, I'll save it for the week because I know that
Yeah.
it'll be easier for me to put it down.
That's really strategic. I like that.
That is your That's how to
This is
tackle your
me.
TVR with
How
Gare.
yes, how do you tackle your TBR? And you just like gave everyone the
I'm gonna
answer.
ha- I'm gonna have a bunch of Instagram DMs of like
Right.
people being like, "Here's my schedule. Help me like read three
You're
books in
gonna
a
get
week."
all these calendar invites.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You
My
could be like,
God.
just listen to the recording. We'll have to like make it a separate clip so you can just send the link back to
It'll
people.
be just, yeah, it'll just be like, find the, like when you're boiling water for your pasta, you can read 10 pages.
I do that, Tyler. Sometimes, like if we're in the car and he like goes into the gas station or something, he'll like come back in. I'm already like reading. He's like, you just sneaking a few pages in, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I do that too. Sometimes I just leave and I sit outside for like 10 or 15 minutes before my hair appointment to get my hair
Yeah,
cut. And I just read
yeah,
for like 5 or 10 minutes, 15,
yes.
whatever maybe.
I will read when I can.
I always
That's
have a book with me.
yeah, because you read as your amazing bookshelf shows. You read physical books, and I like just want access to. I have my Kindle right here actually, and then I can always read on my phone. So I'm the one that's like I just want access to it no matter where I am. But it
And
sounds like you're doing okay carrying yours with you.
I'm jealous. Yeah. I'm jealous of that though. So
Yeah,
I do not even want to say this is a problem, but I've been on Bookstagram for about 5 years now. So I get a
yeah,
lot of physical advanced reader
I bet.
copies. And I want to keep them. You know, if I really
Yeah,
enjoy the book, I that's something that's like almost like a reader's momentum for me, you know, like
yeah, yeah,
just um so that kind of getting a lot of them from the publishers helps. There's certain authors that I want to have physical copies of. Um,
yeah,
but I definitely have my Kindle and it is jam-packed with like a bunch of other goodies because I
yeah,
use NetGalley or
yeah,
um I'm a big mood reader. So
yeah.
I might be like, I'm in the mood for something and I want to start it
Hmm.
now. I don't want to wait for shipping, so I'll just get it on my Kindle.
Yes, that's what I tell people sometimes where I'm like, do you ever just want to just buy it so you can immediately read it? It sounds like
I
you do at least.
I do read it faster on my Kindle than I do a
Yeah,
physical book. I don't know what it is.
yeah.
It's
I
like,
love it. It's so
yeah.
much better than just like having it on my phone too. Like obviously I'll read on my phone like in public if I'm bored or whatever and don't have my Kindle with me. But it's even
The
so much
screen.
nicer on my eyes
Oh
than my
yeah.
phone. And you
Yeah.
don't get the notifications like popping up. Like I love it so much. But yeah, I'm
I
reading
just
an arc
love,
right now from NetGalley.
are you? Which one are you reading? I
I'm
already told you.
reading They Come at Night from Yasmin Ongo. It's a spy thriller. It's like the second in a spy thriller series.
I have seen that all
It's
over
amazing.
because the cover is absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful. And the first one was beautiful
The
too,
first one
orange.
was beautiful too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. See,
Yes.
same
Yeah.
person.
She was
Yeah.
like my fifth guest, I think, for the first
Oh,
one.
really?
Yeah. I'm obsessed with that. Do you read action thrillers very often? I feel like we haven't talked about any.
I
Yeah.
don't. I'll read if something has a good plot and it sounds like something I could get into, I will read it.
Yeah.
Um, spy, espionage, things like that just usually go over my head. So it doesn't
Oh,
like fully
that's
make sense
hilarious.
to me because it's like hard for me to put myself in that position. Um,
Yeah.
but
Well,
no, I
but
will
it's easier for you to be in the position of
of a
killer.
murderer.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't even think it's like that because typically I don't think there's a lot of books that I've read where you're reading from like the point of view of the killer.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think my thing is I'm just very nosy.
Yeah.
So if I'm reading from the perspective of somebody who is watching things on the news, or if I'm reading from the perspective of like a detective, then I can
Yeah.
follow along with that because I'm nosy. I want to know who did something. I want to know why they
Yes.
did it. When
Yes.
I feel like when it's espionage and spy
Uh-huh.
things, they almost always go into something political.
Yeah.
And I'm not savvy when it comes to a lot of political like
Yeah.
terms and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that would probably like I would probably read it and say like that was really good, or the
Yeah.
ending to me would make a little bit of sense, but
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have like a full grasp as I would like something by Ashley Winstead.
Oh, anything by her.
Anything
Yeah.
by
Any
Ashley
literally
Winstead.
anything. She
Literally.
could write a kid's story and I would read it.
Yeah. She could write about a snail having food poisoning, and I would be like, best book of 2022.
Or maybe it
I'm
would be right underneath The Last Housewife for 2022.
Last Housewife. That's my
Just
favorite of
amazing.
2022 so far.
We agree on that one too. I
Yeah.
really do that. There are a lot that I have really loved in 2022. I did put a bit of a list together, but that one, there it was just everything. Like the vibe,
Hmm.
the the rage, like all of it was so good. The storytelling, the pacing, so good.
Having her write female rage
Mm-hmm.
in such a poetic, like beautiful
Yes.
prose.
Lyrical. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Just amazing. Like, okay, I can't talk about spoilers. That's why I keep pausing. I keep trying to
I
make sure I don't say anything.
Well, if anybody's listening still,
Mm-hmm.
if anybody's
Right.
listening who hasn't
Thank
read
you.
Ashley Winstead,
Yeah.
my thing is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife is one of the best dark academia thrillers that I've
Yes.
ever read.
Yep.
But it also has my favorite reveal in it
Mm-hmm.
because it is like psychologically so disturbing,
Yeah.
but it's also
Almost in
something
two ways. I think
yeah,
there are like two punches at the end where you're like, whoa, whoa.
and I never saw it coming.
Nope.
But The Last Housewife has the most intriguing, best first chapter I have ever read in my entire life.
Yeah. It like if you're not hooked, there's a problem
Yeah, you
with you.
just don't. Yeah, you don't have taste.
Yes. Like I don't understand how anyone could read that and not want to read the rest of it. It's just amazing. I do want to
See,
know
when
what
I read,
happened to her in college though. Like in my dreams
no,
and Last Housewife, I'm like, what went on in the college years for you? I need to ask her.
she, she just, I don't know. That's a really good question. I didn't
I
even
was
put
thinking
that
about it.
together.
I
I
was
didn't
thinking
even put
about
that
it
together.
because we talked about her doing a podcast for Last Housewife. I think she's just like busy. But when I started thinking about questions, I was like, wait a second, what did college do to you, Ashley?
I never even thought, you know what the thing is, though, I will say that is a true testament to her
Mm-hmm.
storytelling capabilities is the
You didn't even
fact that
notice.
I did not even notice because while both books do have that college setting
Yeah.
connection, they are both such different stories that I did not even put that together.
I didn't put it together until like a month after I'd read The Last Housewife, a month or two. I was like, wait a second. She's just that good
Yeah,
at
for
it.
me,
Yeah,
three
because the
months
characters,
later.
the characters are like
This
really
one.
distinct too. That's like the characters aren't even
Mhm.
like similar, really.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And I just,
this is an Ashley Winstead Stan podcast, just in case anyone can't tell.
yeah, yeah. It's just all about us running the fan club. Uh,
Yes.
I actually think that, and I told her this because we did a live
Hmm.
recently.
Yeah,
Um, but I think to me, she's like this year's like Gillian Flynn.
I agree with you.
And I just like she has that way of writing that's like beautiful and sinister, like Gillian Flynn.
Yeah.
She does not hold back with her
No,
plot.
it's very
Um,
sharp objects E.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the twists are all so good. And
Mm-hmm.
the characters are just like at some points you're like, wow, I can't believe that this person ended up this way. But
Yeah.
then again, you're like, I can kind of see why they do the things they do, even if I don't agree with it.
That's
So
what she does so well. Because when I asked her, like, how she plotted out her characters, because for example, in my dreams, I hold a knife. It's five main characters, four. I don't know. It's an ensemble cast basically, but every
yeah.
single one of them has their own thing that they're struggling with. And when I was
Mhm.
asking her about like how she got her backstory, she mentioned that she uses this book called Story Genius to write her stories. And that like the main thing you focus on is what's the core misbelief this person has, this character has, where did they get it? And what would help them overcome it to like follow the story arc. And when she said that, I was like, yeah, I can answer all of those questions for all of your characters, which is not always the case when you read stuff.
No, no. I think there's a lot of people who, when they write, they have characters in there because they want them to do something specific that's relating to the
Mm-hmm.
plot. Like they're kind of like the bone carrier, I guess you would call it.
Right, right.
But
Yeah.
with her, like I actually said that to her too. I was like, I feel like I could interview you as whatever character you've written and ask you questions like,
Yeah.
what's your favorite color? Like, what's your favorite potato chip flavor? And you would be able to
Yes.
answer it for all of your characters because you really do have that mindset of
Yeah.
knowing everything about them before you start something.
I think so too. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed part 1 of this episode. If you did, make sure that you come back on Thursday for part 2. And don't forget to stay up to date with everything that we're reading and talking about on our Instagrams at Gare Indeed Reads and at the girl with the book on the couch. Links are also in the show notes, so make sure you follow.